hotel in conference play. Every time it seems the Missouri Tigers are playing a conference game, they're right there in the final 5 minutes, and then they fall just short of the mark. We keep thinking one day they're going to bite somebody, LSU hoping that it's not them tonight.
And they said they were going to change up their defenses, and they do just that, going to that 1-1-3 that kind of flattens out into a 2-3.
Dennis Gates, such a terrific debut last year for Missouri. Remember, they won 25 games. They got to the NCAA tournament, won a game there. Obviously, there were high expectations again in year 2, although the loss of Kobe Brown, certainly a mammoth one, who's now enjoying life in the NBA. D'Moi Hodge
was
terrific
so
player.
Good a year ago.
Doing a scoring drought here that's lasted nearly 3 minutes. East skips it over into the corner to Bates on a 3. Back iron, and there is Will Baker on another rebound. Ward looking for help, finds it in Jordan Wright.
You know, Mike, LSU's had a really interesting season in terms of their point guard play, because it started without Jalen Cook, then it was with Jalen Cook, and now it's with Trey Hannibal the last 10 games.
And that has been the problem for LSU, not unlike, say, in Arkansas. If you don't have great point guard play in the SEC this year, it's problematic because you're going up against elite point guards all season long. Give Trey Hannibal credit. He's made the adjustment, averaging over 5 assists the last 6 games. When he doesn't turn it over, he is very efficient for the Tigers. Honor on a 3. Right now, Mizzou just can't buy a bucket.
That's a good look, though, for Honor.
Hannibal downhill, spinning on East, and a pretty move by Trey Hannibal for his first 2 points.
And he can do that in transition with an open floor. Sean East is going to have to be a little bit more selfish in terms of getting some shots up.
East, 16-footer from the elbow.
On cue.
Yep. He's a lot of fun to watch. Leading scorer, averaging 17.5 per game. 6 consecutive 20-point games for Sean East. And he's not selfish either. Averages over 4 assists a game. Bates on a steal, and Bates has it blocked from behind by Jordan Wright. Bates wanted a whistle, but the referee says all ball.
Bates with the quick hands to create the turnover. And what looked like a simple flush. Wright just challenges at the rim. Bates unable to finish.
Oh, yeah,
I think he got fouled. Yeah, there's no question.
It's a blatant
foul. Foul.
Not only do you not get the whistle, but because they rule no block, LSU gets the basketball. And a foul, a bump foul, nickel and dimer on Mizzou on the other end.
Mike Williams in, Hannibal out. Mike Williams kind of started the season at the point guard position, the young freshman.
Right. Blind pass to Ward, and Ward had it stripped. Quick hands there by Nick Honor.
Boy, I love the diagonal cut from the weak side off a dribble drive. It's so hard for defenders to pick that up.
When LSU is not turning it over,
right,
offensively they can actually be quite good and aesthetically pleasing because they have guys who can shoot, although that was a brick. They rebound well. Although Jordan Wright just had it slip through his hands. I'll just stop talking, LSU. I apologize. Never mind. I take it all back. The turnovers, 3 for LSU. They had 9 in the first half in that Arkansas game. Really set a negative tone. Give them credit. They cleaned it up in the second with just 1 turnover. But in a lot of ways, when they lose games, the difference is the turnovers.
Yeah, again, because you're giving away free points, or the pick sixes, if you will. But that's kind of a struggle if you don't have a true point guard on the roster. Boy, I'm telling you, East is so good.
Beautiful feed. I mentioned East, not just a great shooter. He does average over 4 dimes a game, and that was a beautiful one.
East plays off 2 feet. He plays smart. He never gets sped up.
Baker plowing into Carter, bobbled it. Back out for a reset out of the hands of Reed. Reed puts it on the deck. Reed bobbles it all the way down to the baseline. Right, late clock. Has to pull the trigger and fires up an air ball.
There wasn't anything that looked good about that possession.
No, that's when you burn the tape. East, strong take, and gets the foul in the basket.
Well, in back-to-back plays, you see the beauty of Sean East. First as an assist, a helper. Watch him get the defender up in the air, and then the little shovel pass for the easy finish by Trent Pierce. And if you're not going to come over and stop him, guess what? The left-hander is marvelous at finishing off the window.
Young man who's out of Louisville, Kentucky. Had a great conversation with him after practice today. We asked him, did you grow up a Kentucky or a Louisville fan? He says neither.
Yeah.
It wasn't his thing. He was more of a fan of the NBA. Kobe Bryant, his favorite player. And one of the things he talked about, what has been the difference for him this year in his career year, he does hot yoga almost every day. Now, I don't know if he found one in Baton Rouge or not, but when he's back in Como, he finds time to do some hot yoga. And pregame, he's the only player that does this. Yeah, we'll take some nucks, Sean East, absolutely. Nobody else gives us any love, Mark-wise, but Sean East finds the time to give back to the broadcasting community.
I know when he talked about the hot yoga, as you take a look at East and what he did last year versus this season, look at that three-point percentage. That's off the charts. But he had such a reverence for what hot yoga has meant to him this year, not only physically, but mentally as well.
I think that would be good for you if we're being honest. Maybe we can look into a membership next time you have time.
I need to get away from the hot queso and get into the hot yoga.
Exactly. While they're reviewing this, they're checking whether or not it was a flagrant foul earlier.
It was behind the play as the ball went down the court. I don't think it was on that play.
See anything there? Let's see if we get the. Okay, just got confirmation. That is Bharat Ramanan, one of the three officials, giving us the confirmation. Just a common foul. First time we've seen Mr. Ramanan this year. Joined by Brian Dorsey, Brian Jarrett.
Well, I was going to say about Sean East, in this 6-game run that he's on, where he's scored more than 20 each game, he's averaging 10 free throws a game.
How about what Dennis Gates said about Sean East? I think he's got what it takes to be in the NBA.
Yeah, he was adamant.
He was adamant. He might not get drafted, but when you get him in one of those camps, he will shine. He can get to the bucket against anybody.
Missouri will do a lot of switching on ball screens.
And Mizzou now on a 7-0 run to match the one that LSU had earlier. And a block foul with 7 on the shot clock.
You've heard me talk about this all season long. We usually talk about patience on the offensive end, but there's also such a thing as defensive patience. And that late in the clock is not the time to be fundamentally unsound.
Second foul on Noah Carter, valuable part of that front line for Mizzou. And that's going to be an offensive foul on the freshman Mike Williams.
I thought Sean East really sold this. Watch Sean East, 55 block. Watch him look around to the official after this hook. Watch his reaction right here. Watch him turn around and look. They say, man, are you watching this?
That's a savvy veteran move. Part of the equation is how you sell the call. Mizzou trying to tack on to a 7-0 run. Tough pass by East and a rare mistake. He's upset with Noah Carter on the play. 11:54 to go.
What finish tied for second, and that's the reason why going to the tiebreakers, Kentucky ended up as the 2 seed. South Carolina a little unfortunate in the 5 seed.
Now here's the thing about the SEC, and I realize you hear how good the league is a lot. Here's what makes it different from other good years. I think of those top 7 that we think are in, all of them have a legit shot to win a game or two. And that has not always been the case, even in a year where you get 7 or 8 teams.
I think this league has 6 teams very capable of making it to the second weekend. And here's the great thing. You've heard me say this all year with coaches, and you ask coaches, what do you have to do to win? You have to defend and rebound. No, you don't. You have to score, and everybody has scored in this conference. It has been fun to watch all season long.
Can I take C, all the above? Yeah. Can you score and rebound?
Well, you have to defend enough. Yeah. I almost think it's in this order. In the NCAA tournament, you have to be able to score. You definitely have to be able to rebound, and you have to be able to play enough defense.
I'll tell you what, if you watch Kentucky, Tennessee, talk about some high-level basketball, Kentucky's scoring against everybody right now, winning despite Dalton Connect's 40-piece in that game against Big Blue.
I had Kentucky on Wednesday night, and I described their offense as elite. What makes it elite? Those freshman guards.
Unbelievable.
When they combine with Antonio Reeves, and in a lot of years we'd be talking about, I don't want to get ahead of ourselves because we're going to give out some awards later tonight, but Antonio Reeves, we would normally be talking about a Player of the Year candidate if it wasn't for a guy from Tennessee.
If it wasn't for Dalton Connect.
But you throw the 3 of them together, Kentucky made 15 threes in that game today. They're the #1 3-point shooting team in the country.
Nice play right there, senior to senior, right to Baker.
Baker's had a good year, averaging 11.5 points a game. He gives them a pick and pop 5-man.
Got him in the portal out of Nevada. Both these coaches have good recruiting classes on the way, but both will be active in the portal as well.
It's the little things, but that pass out by Butler was at the ankles of Pierce.
1 second remaining, gonna have to fire it quickly. Honor does, and splashes a 3 at the buzzer.
Again, the offensive patience better than the defensive patience. You cannot give Nick Honor that good of a look.
Honor already with 6 points now for Mizzou, who has a 2-point lead. 10 minutes remaining in half number 1. Wright finds a wide open Ward, passes it up into the corner on a 3. An air ball fired up by Fountain.
I think Ward's got to shoot that shot.
And then a block foul by Ward on the other end as Robinson hits the deck.
I love the unselfish play, but if you're 42% and you're passing it to somebody 32%, you need to be shooting the ball.
And you're coming off a career high. Tyrell Ward is 19 points in the loss to Arkansas on Wednesday night. He's a guy too at 6'6", elevates on his jump shot. He's not going to have that shot blocked. It might be contested, but he's going to get it off cleanly. Robinson muscles his way inside. Nice move that time by the freshman from Tallahassee.
Yeah, kind of learning on the go, if you will, at the tail end of this season. Robinson, 26 assists, 14 turnovers on the year, but leads the team in steals, so there's value when he's on the court.
Another freshman from Mizzou, Jordan Butler, picking up the foul there.
When you look at this Missouri team, Mike, they've got 4 legit scorers in East, Bates, Carter, and Honor. But then it drops off to 4 points a game, so they never know what they're going to get from a group of about 4 or 5 guys. And when you're Dennis Gates, that's a really difficult way to coach.
Yeah, they also just don't have a lot of depth, which in this league, you can have a really good starting 5.
Yes.
If you don't have 6, 7, 8, it's hard to win over the course of a 40-minute marathon.
Think about Kentucky's depth, Auburn's depth, Tennessee in the front court and their depth. I mean,
Florida.
A lot of bodies. That's right, Florida in the front court.
Great closeout that time by Pierce on Wright. A lot of contact, no whistle.
Foul.
Yeah, it's got to be something, right? I mean, all that contact and no whistle. Jordan Wright having a few words with Byron Jarrett.
If the incidental contact affects the guy with the ball, it's not incidental contact.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's got to go one way or another. Go down, it's a turnover for LSU. Mizzou up by 4 and the ball. East throws into heavy traffic. Here comes Ward, full throttle. to Dean. Turn around. Look what I found. Dean turned around and said, yeah, I'll flip this up and in.
That whole play was set up by Tyrell Ward on the defensive end, being in the right position in help defense.
6 points now for Hunter Dean, the senior. Into the corner, Honor again, feeling it. That time missed it. And there to pick up the loose change is Trent Pierce.
Just be active. If you want to be a good offensive rebounder, go to the rim. Put your camera down and get in the picture.
Killer crossover by Hannibal, who gets the whistle and the foul.
I was talking about Tyrell Ward. Keep your eye on 15 in gold. He's the weak side defender on the left side of the floor. Watch him read this pass. Come in, disrupt that pass. That leads to the turnover, the run out, and the Hunter Dean conversion on the other end.
Robinson whistled for the foul. Hannibal to the free throw line. Hannibal started his career at South Carolina, then went to Murray State. That's where he first hooked up with Matt McMahon. When McMahon got the LSU job, Hannibal followed suit to Baton Rouge.
And do you know what number game this is for Trey Hannibal? He's not even the leader in this game.
We got to be around 150, right?
140.
140.
But there are a couple of guys.
Nick Honor,
155.
Woo!
Jordan Wright, 155.
Man, oh man. We're just about hit the expiration date on the COVID year and some of those rather lofty numbers. The Zoos hit 6 out of the last 7 shots. Carter gets a just outside the paint touch and then fires up an air ball. Here comes Hannibal. Jump pass to Wright, tap pass to Fountain.
You've got to be more disciplined with your passing, though.
And Hannibal fouled as he tries to split the double. 7:50 to go. It's Missouri 19 and LSU 16. Our last conversation with Coach Nutt, what a pleasant individual who has spent so much of his career with that man, Dennis Gates, from one spot to the next.
There was an FSU connection way back when.
That's right.
Where they had offices across the hall from each other under Leonard Hamilton.
Leonard Hamilton, of course, is still at Florida State. Dennis Gates still stays in touch with Coach Hamilton, and that's so much the early part of his career. Down to a 1-point game. That last team foul was 8 on Mizzou, so the race to the bonus is won by LSU.
And that's been a problem for LSU, excuse me, for Missouri in league games. They commit more than 21 fouls a game.
Robinson to Carter up top, bellied up by Hannibal. Wide open three. Pops out, loose ball, finally scooped up by Hannibal.
If there's a scrum involved, Hannibal's going to win it.
Yes, he is. Open tray on the other end. A nice box out by Missouri and a foul over the back by Fountain. That was a great job by Trent Pierce getting position.
Well, there's 2 aspects to defensive rebounding. One is blocking out, putting up body on body, but the other one is you can't wait for the ball to come to you. So you've got to be able to hit somebody and then seek the ball.
Kind of what we expected, a close game between these two teams. Missouri's been in close games all year long, but here they are sitting with an 0-17 mark, looking for a chance to avoid a winless year in conference play, something that they haven't known during their time in the SEC or going all the way back to the Big 12, the Big 8.
They really struggle scoring down in the high rent district. An undersized team.
Right, blind pass to Fountain, but it's off the mark, wide. Honor was there to steal it. Here comes Bates, he's been quiet, not anymore. That's a deep 2.
I love the early offense though, because if you're Missouri, you may not get a better look.
See, the last winless team in SEC play, the Vanderbilt Commodores, that's with Bryce Drew, who took them to the tournament 2 years previous to that. Bryce Drew, now the coach of Grand Canyon.
Trying to get to the NCAA tournament
for the second time. Been there
again
once already.
Just poor passing.
And that's been, again, the problem for LSU all year long. Some inexplicable turnovers. When they don't turn it over, they win.
LSU's playing with fire, I think, by allowing Nick Honor so many good looks from bonus land.
LSU now with 7 turnovers in the half. Wright runs into a brick wall and then gets the whistle on the fade and fire.
Jordan Wright, we've seen him do this in his career. He's so strong. When he goes up with the ball, he can really absorb a lot of contact. He's got such great arm strength.
Great transfer from Vanderbilt, where he's such an effective player. He's from Louisiana. He comes back to his home state to play his final year as an LSU Tiger, their leading scorer, averaging over 15 points, 5 rebounds a game. And I don't know if he does much hot yoga, but I know he's a dog lover. His dog, Baloo, goes with him just about everywhere when he's here in town. If you could take him on the charter, I'm sure they probably do that as well. As a fellow dog lover, I can appreciate that.
Doesn't Herb Street do that?
I believe so,
yes.
Yeah. I mean, look, you love
There's
your
precedent.
dog.
There's
Absolutely.
precedent.
It's good enough for Herbie. It's certainly good enough for Jordan Wright and Baloo. 2-point game, under 5.5 to go here in the first half. East finds Carter, tight roping the baseline. He's got nowhere to go and just somehow carves out a millimeter of space to get that one off.
How did he get that to finish? So there's the quick switch, and now they have an opportunity. Yes, you could see it coming. Take another look, though. Here's inside Carter trying to finish. He's undersized at 6'6". Kind of goes back underneath and somehow gets that to go. There's a lot of want to in that finish.
Carter at a Dubuque, Iowa. One of the first things he said on his visit to Mizzou, is it okay if I bring my boat? He's a big fisherman. In fact, Dennis Gates, the head coach for Missouri, one of the things he has grown to love is to go fishing. He'll go to fishing back in Missouri at the local country club. His #1 partner when he does that is Noah Carter. When's the last time you caught a fish, Mark Wise?
You know, it's been a while. But I was raised fishing, so that's okay. When you're raised in Kentucky, you learn to fish in ponds and whatnot.
I never knew you were such an outdoorsman.
Oh, yeah.
That camouflage suit must have given it away. Carter fights East. East, he's bottled up. Honor passed up the 3.
You guys shoot the first time, I think. Does it matter? Maybe not.
Dean with another rebound. How about the performance by Hunter Dean here on senior night? Hannibal downhill, but misses the layup.
Now that no call I like, because the defender was giving the whole time.
East up top. Finds Carter. Spot fire 3. Got it. Noah Carter from downtown.
He's really had a struggling season shooting the ball, especially from deep. Just 27%.
Missouri up by 6 now. That's its largest lead. Ward, silent first half. Coming off a career high on Wednesday night. There's a bucket, and maybe that'll get him going. 5 points for Ward.
Great individual effort there. LSU didn't have much going.
Ward, a 6'6" sophomore out of Washington, D.C., they hope will be a big part of next year's equation here in Baton Rouge. East on a runner. Again, he's a left-hander. Gets his own offensive rebound in the trees, and then gets it to drop in heavy traffic. 7 points for Sean East.
So creative. And anytime Missouri gets second chance points, that's almost bonus.
Yes. They have been at the bottom in rebounding in the league this year, and there's Wilkinson on a response. He all of a sudden has found a feathery touch from behind the arc of late.
He's made a 3 in 4 straight games now.
3-point game, back and forth we go. Bates feeds East on an open tray, rims out. Good look for Sean East, just couldn't get it to go. Under 3 minutes to go. Wilkinson again, too strong on that triple. LSU in conference play, one of the top 3-point shooting teams in the league. Look at East. He's one of the smallest guys on the floor. He takes that right in between an LSU sandwich and finds enough daylight to get the deuce.
Getting whatever he wants right now. Here's the zone again. 2-3, the soft spots, the short corner was going to be on that pass. We talk about Sean East and his ability to find angles in terms of driving. How about that high degree of difficulty shot? But he was the one to seek. Look at that wonderful finish. And then after that, you have got to have great guard play, and we've seen that all season long.
Well, no question. And I think that's why so many people like us have echoed the sentiment that I just think there's multiple teams. You could have a flurry of SEC teams that make it to the second weekend because of that great guard play.
If I'm a Kentucky fan or an Alabama fan, sure, I have concerns about the defense. But the offenses are so elite.
Lottery picks all over the place in that Tennessee-Kentucky game. Carter buries another triple. Noah Carter now with 8.
One of the surprising things to me defensively in our game, why do you allow corner threes? I mean, you not only have to be there on the catch, you have to be there before the catch. I get it. It's the longest closeout.
It's also the shortest shot from three-point land, and the one that so many shooters love the most. Nice block by Missouri on that possession. Mizzou up by 8, again in search of its first conference win of the season.
And here, East is not going to go until he gets everybody set.
And that one was stealed. A pick off by Mike Williams. Williams all the way, missed it, tap in by Ward.
Nice follow-up by Ward. That's a good lesson for all young bigs. Don't assume the guard's going to make every layup in transition. Follow along. Sorry.
First, second chance points for LSU in this game.
Which is a big story because Missouri really gives up, on average, a lot.
Sean East right now is starting to feel it. 11 points, tops among all scorers tonight.
Last shot opportunity. Missouri back to the zone.
Where do you think they go?
Better go free throw line or short corner. They're going to wait too late to start this.
Who's getting the shot? Ward covered up. Williams going to have to launch. Desperation heave.
Oh.
And he got fouled. Honor fouled him on the three-pointer with .4 left. Don't forget, coming up at the half, Dari, Patrick, and Slay will talk about a huge day in SEC hoops. They'll get you up to speed on the latest bracket that we showed you earlier, and maybe have a little bit of a preview, find out who the guys like in Nashville. I think it's going to be awfully tough to pick which one of those talented teams winds up cutting down the nets.
Are we still waiting on our invite to the Boom Boom Room?
We are. Ron Slay, he's had a lot of nice things to say about my suits this year, which I appreciate. So does my suit guy, by the way. But I would like an invite to the Boom Boom Room, and I don't even know what to expect there, but it sounds like a lot of fun. Williams sinks the second, or the third, I should say. And that's how the half will come to a close. A 6-point game at the half. Missouri up in Baton Rouge. Let's send it to the three aforementioned gentlemen back in the studio.
Offensively in the first 20 minutes.
Now more of the turnover bug at times as well. Again, for what's at stake for LSU, they've got a chance to finish in the upper half of conference play. This is the largest halftime lead for Missouri in SEC play. And how about this? As you see the halftime numbers and kind of what we expected overall, with the exception of rebounds. Missouri, the worst rebounding team in the league, right now +1 on the glass. But 3 times Mizzou has led a conference game at halftime. They led by 3 against Tennessee, they lost. They led by 3 at Ole Miss, they lost. They led by 1 at South Carolina, and they lost. Will they finally be able to break the schneid tonight?
They have not had any trouble being the hang-around team. They've just had trouble finishing.
Anything you want to see different out of LSU defensively?
Well, I think they're going to have to decide what they want to do with East, whether they want to stun at him, whether they want to hard hedge on any kind of ball screen. Right now, he's the guy. They cannot stop him.
He was the smallest guy in the tall timber, got the board, and then somehow gets a 3-point play.
And did you see the sly grin from the head coach? Pleased? I mean, East is just so good. I said this a couple of weeks ago. He sees angles in the game that other guards only dream about.
They got him out of John A. Logan College, where he led the nation in scoring. John A. Logan, by the way, is in Carterville, Illinois, a student body of 3,200. That's a pretty good find out of good old John A. Logan.
Played for Kyle Smith-Peters on the staff at Missouri. Now there's Hannibal doing Hannibal things.
He's got 7. Missouri back in a familiar situation, either leading or right in the game in the second half. Carter had the hot hand at the end of the first half.
No need to rush that. He had the mismatch.
Ward into Baker, draws a double. Somebody's got to be open. It's Hannibal! And 1!
This is the cut. A post player needs to see 2 things: a cutter like Hannibal and a 3-point shooter. That is a great job by Hannibal, moving without the ball. Especially when a big guy gets doubled, and Missouri calls that their fire game. They're double teaming on the low block. Every big guy must see those 2 things: a cutter and a 3-point shooter.
Third foul on Pierce, by the way. Baker corrals an offensive rebound. And Hannibal turns it over. 3-on-1. East alley-oop past the Bates. And one of the few mistakes that Sean East has made.
Yeah, just a poor decision by East that time. They actually had 3-on-1. And here's Missouri back to the 1-1-3. Which really is a 2-3. Ball's got to go to the free throw line or the short corner.
What do you like about the zone?
Well, that's good ball movement. But again, you're dictating what shot is coming. And to me, the whole story in the first half was Missouri's ability to rebound with LSU. And the big question mark for any zone is, can you rebound out of it?
Wow. LSU had 3 players going for the rebound. There wasn't a Missouri player within 20 feet of the ball, but LSU knocks it out of bounds. LSU women have advanced. They will play Dawn Staley's South Carolina team, who won on a bank buzzer beater against Tennessee while down by a point. They won by 2. It's an incredible finish.
You've got to see it to believe it.
You've got to see it to believe it. Some madness in Greenville. Hannibal. Wow. That's just pure power and strength by a guy who looks like an outside linebacker playing point guard.
Or a fullback hitting the A-gap.
Yes.
Is that the A-gap? Am I right?
That is the
yes,
A-gap.
Thank you.
Nicely done. And a nice run by LSU and Trey Hannibal to make it a 1-point game. Commercials, all you got to do is take a pill and that could change, but I can't confirm nor deny any of that. 1-point game here with 17:13 to play.
LSU off to a good start here in the second half, making 4 of their first 6 shots. Trey Hannibal has been the difference. He's now into double figures for Matt McMahon's team.
Now 11 points for Hannibal, 14 for East, leading away for Mizzou. Again, Missouri has led at the half 3 times in SEC play, but still hasn't been able to finish off an opponent in the second half.
Watch this ball screen. What did they do with East? A straight switch.
East lines up a 3 and buries it. Gosh, is he dangerous. 17 points for East.
Just doesn't matter. Switch, hedge, double.
The hot yoga paying dividends for number 55 in black. Hannibal, drive and kick. Under 10 to shoot. Baker left alone. Fires up a knuckleball. Tapped out of bounds. It will be LSU basketball.
Sean East on the straight switch by LSU last possession. Watch, he gets the switch, and then Fountain really has his hands down. And East takes advantage and shoots it right over him with confidence. So there's 2 ways to beat a team in a zone. You either shoot them out or rebound them out. And for Missouri, that's the big question. Can you get misses, and can you rebound?
Fountain skying for the rebound and draws the foul right on cue, Coach.
Again, there's no block-out responsibilities in a zone, so you actually have to be more active as a rebounder out of the zone than you do man-to-man.
Third foul on Carter. Fountain goes to the free throw line, a 70% free throw shooter. He has another year to come back. And there's a good chance you might see Derek Fountain back in Baton Rouge next year. Monday night at 9 o'clock Eastern Time, SEC Inside grants you an all-access pass to the Alabama men's basketball team, as well as all kinds of behind-the-scenes looks, rare scene footage, sound from players and coaches. It'll be right here on the SEC Network and ESPN.
How about the Alabama win today? They made 2 late threes to tie the game. Battle still had a shot at the end to win for Arkansas. And Bama survives in overtime.
Bama did not have a lead the entire first and second half. Forced overtime and then wound up winning the game. Arkansas might still be a dangerous out in Nashville. They can score. Ward knows how to score. Missed it. Tapped up by Fountain.
And guess who gets the rebound?
Sean East. Who else? East doing it all. East coast to coast and draws the foul.
Sean East on the verge of getting his 7th straight 20-point game. But watch. Plays off 2 feet and it's just so. You'd have 4 different winners in 4 different weeks. That extra game just means a lot.
Yeah, I gotta say, if we're gonna go chalk, I mean, watching Tennessee, Kentucky today, and Auburn and Alabama are really good teams, really good.
Yeah.
But the way Kentucky is playing now, and the way Tennessee has played, quite frankly, for most of the year, it's hard to not pick one of those.
You know, Alabama is an interesting case because unless they're making 12 or 13 threes,
right,
they really struggle.
Exactly.
And so I think those other 3 teams are probably better built to win 3 games in 3 days. And there is Sean East, 7th straight game of 20 or more.
Pretty amazing stretch. Of course, Dalton Connect had a stretch of games of 25 or more.
Right.
He's putting up all kinds of insane numbers this year.
Mike, you know what that tells me? Where is Sean East on the scouting report?
Well, I would think he'd be at the top.
Yes!
I know he was.
Yes!
I know he was for Matt McMahon. It's the first name he mentioned when we talked to him today about keys to winning this game.
And he's still getting 20
Absolutely.
plus.
Yeah, he doesn't have the help of some of the other great scorers in this league.
Really good job by Missouri on their activity in the zone.
Machak with the rebound, tied up. The arrow will remain LSU's way. 7-point lead for Mizzou. And again, if you have followed this team throughout the year, I mean, if we want to be brutally honest, there have been some teams that we have covered over the years. You go with
that
whatever.
won more games than Missouri.
Well, well, yes. But, I mean, there's also been, there's a big three. Hunter Dean. You should tell Hunter Dean it's senior night every night.
He's now 3 of 5 from deep on the year. You know what I'm going to say about that? He needs more shots.
He needs more shots. He's got 9 points. Got a rare start here today.
This is on the out under. Hunter Dean. Majak gave him room. I would have given him room. He can make it, but an unlikely three-point maker.
Every highlight we've seen from Hunter Dean this year has been in the paint.
I think he's got to go for a heat check now.
I don't know if Matt McMahon agrees with that, but I know for the entertainment standpoint, sure.
Again, East gets the switch he wants.
That was an ill-advised pass deflected by Fountain. Numbers, and a finish and a foul for Mike Williams.
Both of East's bad turnovers have been cross-court passes. It's just not there. That's the good hands of Fountain. Numbers, Hannibal makes the correct pass by making the simple pass, moving the ball ahead. Mike Williams into the body of Bates, and that's an easy and-one opportunity. No question about the foul.
You start thinking about the future of LSU basketball. Again, they've got a good recruiting class coming in. They'll hit the portal like everybody else does, but this is a young man that could be a focal point next year. The freshman Mike Williams sinks the free throw to make it a 1-point game.
You know, you talk about Williams and Ward and Reed as sophomores. That's a pretty good nucleus.
Absolutely. Honor. Inside Majak. Blocked by Dean. Dean, great pass to Hannibal. 2-on-1. Hannibal lays it in. LSU recaptures the lead. 8-0 run for the hometown Tigers. Shot clock under 10. Honor lost it.
Hunter Dean impacting the game on both ends of the floor, this time with the block, the quick outlet, and watch. Coming downhill right at you. You want to take the charge?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good luck with that.
Check your life insurance policy. You know what I loved about that play? The quick outlet by Hunter Dean. Staple of the great big men of old. Get that rebound and quickly get it out front. Fountain squirts it out to right.
Well, they got the ball where it needed to go.
3 ball from the corner. Splashed home by Williams, who now has 8.
That came after an inside touch, made the zone collapse.
And a timeout for Mizzou.
Last possession, the ball had gotten into the free throw line. The zone was a little collapsed. Mike Williams with the corner 3. The closeout was way late. And Mike Williams, who's knocking down 37% of his three-point attempts this year and has made 3 or more 4 different times this year, a legit three-point threat.
And LSU, particularly in conference play, has been one of the best three-point shooting teams in the league, so they know how to bust up a zone. Certainly did it on that possession.
Mike, don't you think this whole entire second half changed when Trey Hannibal went to a different energy level?
Yeah, I mean, look, as you mentioned, it's hard to describe Trey Hannibal's play without using the term downhill, because everything he does effectively seems to start with him using that body and explosiveness and going downhill. You don't want to try and get in front of him, and if you collapse on him, he's become a much better passer. He did not have that in his bag of tools early in the year. He's become more of a point guard late this season.
Started the last 10, and in that span, he has 45 assists, to your point.
Under 10 on the shot clock for Mizzou. Sean Easttime now East draws a lot of attention. And a three off the mark that time by Bates. He had a good look.
Quality possession, though.
Hannibal whips it inside to Dean. Got it!
Missouri, who had played the last 3 or 4 minutes in zone, was trying to get back in man, but there was confusion what defense they were in. Hunter Dean, look at the angle. Wide open. That's an easy finish. And Hunter Dean right now. How about the pass by Hannibal?
That's pretty.
He was high-fiving the first row on the way back down.
Yeah, it's hard to not tell the story of LSU basketball this year without talking about the progression of Hannibal at the point guard the last 10 games. Remember, Jalen Cook was supposed to be the guy at that position. They waited for the NCAA to clear him from Tulane as a 2-time transfer. Then he got hurt. Then he got suspended. The keys to the car were given to Trey Hannibal, who had never really been entrusted as a true point guard. Boy, has he learned on the fly.
And he has got his foot down on the gas pedal.
And so too does LSU, up by 7 now. They were just down by 7 a few minutes ago.
Now they put Wright on East, a more physical presence.
East fouled on the floor. A lot of quick hands going in there. Sean East trying to snap a 14-0 run.
I just feel like LSU's defense has gotten a lot better because their offense got a lot better.
Only 5 team fouls, 14-0 run in the last 2:38. That happened in the blink of an eye. Remember, Missouri led this game at the half for the 4th time this year in conference play. 5 on the shot clock. Here comes East. And Wright whistled for the foul.
Trey Hannibal has certainly been the difference maker in the first 8 minutes. Watch this no-look pass. And the leading scorer for LSU, Hunter Dean.
14-0 run. What's been the difference, Mark?
Well, I'm going to start with Trey Hannibal. I think he has put this team on his back from a physicality standpoint, from an energy standpoint, and they have fed off their senior point guard. I also think they have played with more energy defensively.
Tough pass stolen by Hannibal to Dean.
Oh.
And Dean, what is the call? Out of bounds to LSU.
My goodness, what a play. First by Hannibal. I love the hustle by Carter, who could have given up on the play, but gets back and ruins the alley-oop opportunity.
It's like a defensive back getting back in coverage. Then Hannibal just...
He tried to throw it in with one hand.
With one hand.
One to stop it.
That's one of those turnovers again. He's kind of got fight through it. Now Williams almost forces a turnover on the other end. Carter, backdoor cut, East, why not? When in doubt, go to 55 in black. 23 points for Sean East.
That was a design play to take advantage of the aggressive man-to-man that LSU has started playing. Great call by Dennis Gates.
Hunter Dean puts it on the deck and gets fouled by the freshman Jordan Butler.
Sean East, if you're going to get overplayed, then go back door. Right side of your screen. There's the high side play by Mike Williams. Move without the ball. The high arcing finish by Sean East. Doesn't East have almost half of Missouri's points?
Well, he's got 23.
Everybody else has got 24.
And he's 9 of 12 from the field and doing it. 4 for 4 from the line. Williams, dipsy-do. Where did that come from?
Somehow Mizzou's defense just parted.
10 points for the freshman.
kind of feel like this is a danger zone for the visitors.
I would certainly concur with that assessment.
Let's go back to the last possession. The ball fake. No resistance at the rim. Mike Williams, who had knocked down a 3 earlier. That's just way too easy.
The players are pointing up at the clock. There seems to be some confusion about where the clock is and where it's supposed to be. We're at 10:48 on the game clock. Of course, 20 seconds on the shot clock.
East needs Bates or somebody to help.
Well, that was a good look by Bates. He just wasn't able to get it to drop. He's only got 4 points tonight.
It was a dangerous pass up the sideline. Carter thought it actually went off LSU.
To your point, I think the answer to your riddle is number 2, Tamar Bates. They need him to start to heat up.
No question. This is not the most gifted, offensively driven team. Their margin of error, not very big.
Right on a deep 3. Carter flying in, and Butler got caught holding Hunter Dean down low.
No reason to keep holding. Go ahead and make your contact, but then be active at going to get the ball.
Ward checks back in for LSU.
Now this is really important because Jordan Wright is getting a breather. And I thought he has brought a different level of defending on Sean East. Now, who gets the East assignment?
Dean in the corner finds Hannibal, and he's blocked by Carter. And if that's Noah Carter's foul, which it will be, that's 4. 4 on Noah Carter. Neither one of these teams are particularly deep, so
right.
If we start getting into a battle of attrition, that's not good for anybody.
I wouldn't be surprised if Dennis Gage rolls the dice here with Carter.
Yeah, you might have to. LSU at the line, 10 for 17 tonight. Missouri does not typically draw a lot of fouls. Hannibal out of Elliott, South Carolina. Calmly buries a pair. 9-point cushion for LSU.
You had that game midweek when Hannibal went for the double-double with the 10 points and 10 rebounds.
And put up the numbers. He had the turnover bug early. He's been much better with the basketball in this game. Bates on the baseline stuff, and that's what Missouri desperately needs more of. He can go off.
He's been really quiet tonight. He's got 5 games this year where he scored 20 or more, including that 36 against Florida.
That's going to be a walk. Now, Reed was determined to get a shot off, and in the process, dragged that pivot foot.
So the goal for Missouri now, Mike, is to get the fight of the game back in the middle of the ring. They've been on the ropes the last 3 or 4 possessions.
Lately, it's been Missouri with the turnover bug. Great pass to Hannibal. Behind the back to Ward. Got it! Oh, what a play!
My goodness.
That'll put some juice in the building here in the PMAC. That might be the most exciting play LSU's had all year. Honor, air ball. Hannibal, breakaway. Timeout, Missouri. LSU on fire. a 23-4 run.
Well, there are assists and assists with an asterisk. Watch this first one by Hannibal. Behind the back, a perfect shooting pass to Tyrell Ward. And then after the air ball, the quick outlet, and coming right down Main Street with the one-handed flush, Trey Hannibal.
You know, for a couple of years now, even going back to when he was at South Carolina, we've been trying to define what Trey Hannibal is, because he's very hard to define. He's a 6'2", 220-pound ball of muscle. He's never been a true point guard, but yet he's never been a great outside shooter. So he's always been a guy that you didn't know what box to put him in, but his athleticism has always been enticing for whoever he's played for.
Well, take another look at the run out. See, he left the floor for a guy his size outside the restricted arc.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive.
The athleticism for Hannibal has always been there. And again, when called upon to take over the point guard spot, Trey Hannibal took it upon himself to play a little bit more discipline without losing that aggressiveness as well.
Mike, while we have a moment, we were talking with Matt McMahon earlier today, and you asked him an interesting thing about senior night at App State.
Yeah, he remembered it like it was yesterday. He talked about the fact that back in 2000 he was a senior at App State. That team went on, by the way, to win the SoCon and advance to the NCAA tournament, but he remembered playing on his home floor. He remembered specifically the play to a teammate of his who hit a three-point shot to make it 100 points in the game. And he just talked about how special that was. And, you know, with the way things have changed, Mark, I hope we don't lose that special part of senior night.
And we're going to see App State tomorrow night in the semifinals of the Sun Belt, and he knew that. He knew that they survived today.
He was all over it. Once a Mountaineer, always a Mountaineer. And Matt McMahon, of course, eventually went into coaching and did such a great job at Murray State. If it wasn't for the pandemic year, they would have been in 4 NCAA tournaments.
A little 2-2-1, a different look defensively. Back to the 2-3.
LSU has been able to find the soft spot in this zone. And he had right in the corner if that pass gets there cleanly. Instead, it's Missouri the other way. East, down low, Bates, blocked by Williams. Wow, are they getting good minutes out of Mike Williams tonight?
LSU a little lucky there because they were disorganized defensively. There's the short, right in the middle of the zone. That's the weak spot, the free throw line.
And LSU right now is busting that zone up. Open shots, open conversions. 13 points now for Tyrell Ward. Bates can't connect. And Missouri has gone chilly from the floor. Reed inside. Kick out right on a 3. Now Missouri the other way. East on right. East is so crafty.
Wright was trying, wasn't he? He was trying to time
it. East made the smart move there. He did not want to take it right on right at the hole. Wright is a bigger, more physical player. Just stopped and then floated one up off the window. 25 for Sean East now. Got to get some stops, so if you're Missouri. And that will not help. Offensive crash and stick back for Jalen Reed, his first basket.
I just think in the second half, led by Hannibal, LSU's played harder.
Yeah. Bates backing in. And he gets hammered. Timeout on the floor. LSU up 15.
And that's what Trey Hannibal brought to the table, especially here in the second 20.
Again, to put it in perspective, it's an LSU team that went 2-16 last year in conference play. it's not as if they plucked a bunch of dynamos in the portal. A lot of these are returning players and guys that were solid players at other stops. But Matt McMahon has flicked a switch with this group, and they have had a major turnaround, a chance to finish in the upper half of the Southeastern Conference in one of the most talented years and deepest years in SEC play.
So they're going to go from 2-16 to tied for 7th. Now they'll lose the tiebreaker,
right?
And so they'll be in the 8-9 game, but they are tied for 7th.
No, it's an amazing,
upper half. Yes,
amazing accomplishment for this program to be that far ahead in year number 2. Bates, 8 points now for the junior out of Kansas City. LSU content to bleed a little clock here. Wait for a good shot.
Yeah, but no reason to play the shot clock game. There's the short corner. Now this possession ought to be a good one.
Hannibal passed it up. 3 seconds, 2 seconds. Fouled and one.
Again, the zone collapses, the kick out, so Honor is matched up on top. And Hannibal uses his length and strength at his position to his advantage.
A free throw here would make it a 20-point night for the 5th-year senior.
Boy, did Matt McMahon strike gold, deciding to put Trey Hannibal at the point in the last 10 games.
Well, in all honesty, he hadn't had many other options.
It's correct.
Yeah, sometimes the solution comes out of necessity. East measures a 3. Hannibal rips away the rebound in the trees.
And not only that, but he's above all the trees.
Yes. 5 rebounds, 20 points, 5 dimes for Trey Hannibal.
So if you're LSU, you've got what you wanted. You've got Missouri out of the zone. What a wild shot that is.
Baker there to clean it up. Wheeling, dealing, another and one. Goodness, it's been a flurry of 3-point plays for LSU.
Again, it's another second chance opportunity points for Matt McMahon's team, and he talked to us today. These coaches know the weaknesses of other teams, and he said we ought to be able to kind of dominate the boards tonight. It took them a while to get there. Missouri was really good in the first half, holding their own on the glass.
Missouri had its largest halftime lead in SEC play this year. 35-29 was the halftime score, and LSU came out of the locker room in the second an entirely different team. Approaching 5 minutes to go. Honor can't find it. Hannibal incidentally needs 2 more points to tie his career high. Reed to Ward. Cut off at the baseline. Oh, nice pass down low by Hannibal. Hannibal right now can do no wrong.
You know, Sean East dominated the first half.
Yeah.
Trey Hannibal has dominated the second half. Take another look. Jump stop, a little dump down pass, looking one way, throwing another. Honor had no choice but to foul Will Baker.
Baker started his career in Texas before going to Nevada. LSU needed some size. In case of Baker, size who can also shoot the 3 ball well. They've had a number of senior days here at the PMAC, built in 1972. It used to be the Cow Palace before that. You had rodeos and livestock shows in the old building here in Baton Rouge. That's where one Jack Wise used to blow the
yes,
whistle.
he did. Many moons ago.
The father of my partner here, Mark Wise. Carter muscling his way in. Gets that one to go. He's got 10.
Mike, while we have a moment also, you know, we've worked together all year at all these different schools and their control rooms, and I just want to give a big shout out to all the people who have made us look good, I guess is a way to put it. But there are a lot of people behind the scenes who have done a lot of marvelous work all season long.
No question. Had some very talented people throughout these 14 SEC sites. There'll be 2 more next year. Timeout on the floor. LSU up big.
Wonderful accomplishment, a leap from last year to this year. Now, I personally think Texas A&M has a great shot of getting back in the NCAA tournament, but I'm going to be curious to look at the net rankings tomorrow between Ole Miss and LSU.
Well, we would certainly assume Ole Miss is going to go down after getting beat rather handily by Texas A&M today. So even if for some reason A&M fell short, LSU might still get one of those 2 spots. If not, pick up a road game in the NIT. Much rather obviously have it here at the friendly confines of the PMAC.
I believe that road win, I know that road win for Texas A&M was a quad 2 win. That's a resume builder today. And so I do think A&M will be an interesting case for the committee to discuss because they're 6-6 in quad 1, but now they're 7-7 in quads 2 and 3.
Right.
So I think they're going to be in the mix when all is said and done.
Well, when you listen to the Joe Lunardis of the world, because we've asked this question, what counts more?
Yeah.
Good wins or bad losses? He will immediately say good wins. And if that's the case, A&M with 6 quad 1 wins and a net ranking in the top 50, to me that would spell a trip to the NCAA tournament. Now you want to put all this to rest, win 1 game in Nashville, and I think it's a virtual lock.
Yeah, maybe 2 because of their seeding and who they're going to play. But yeah, I think they win 2. I think they're in. And you may be right. 1 may get them in. Now it also depends on the other teams around you, and fans don't seem to understand that.
Yeah, you got to get out of the bubble to understand the bubble, right? Got to get out of your own bubble to understand the bubble.
Ward's got to be ready to shoot. The ball came inside out.
Under 3 minutes to go. Missouri in need of a comeback miracle. Bates, that'll get it started.
Bates 40% from deep on the year. He's had a great season.
He might fall just short of this, but a chance to go 50, 40, and 90.
Man, that is really hard to do.
It's hard at any level. John Sunvold would be quick to point out, if he had a 3-point line, he would have been a 50, 40, 90 guy at Mizzou. Sonny, I know you're watching. That was for you, bud. Honor to Carter. He'll launch and hit. There's about only one way to do it. Missouri's doing it that way, burying threes.
Well, just remember, any kind of momentum that Missouri might build here in the last 2 minutes might carry over to Nashville.
Good point. They'll be involved in one of the 2 games on Wednesday. Fountain. Air ball. I'll tell you what, Missouri could make this pretty interesting with a 3 here.
Just stop and shoot it, big
Carter.
fella. Yes.
Oh! The high riser, Aiden Shaw. That's the one thing we know he can do. He is an elite leaper, and he makes it a 10-point game.
We talk about this Missouri team just does not have any quit in them. Look at how high Shaw was. Above the rim. Watch where he gathers this ball. My goodness.
It has not been the year that Aiden Shaw had hoped for, but there's certainly some raw athleticism talent that you cannot teach in that 6'8" frame. All of a sudden, Missouri on an 11-0 run. We talked about this, the close calls before. This has been the story of Missouri's season.
Right.
You have leads late, you're in games late, and you lose late.
Down 1 against Tennessee at home. They went to Arkansas. They were down 1 with 10 minutes to go. And then we had the game at Florida where they were down 1 with 5:30 to go. And we just picked out these 3. There are others where it's been 1 possession, 2 possession. Now, it's gotten away from them a little bit here in the second half tonight. But I'm going to credit LSU, and I'm going to credit Trey Hannibal for almost single-handedly leading the charge.
Remember, they also led Ole Miss by 3 at the half. 4 times now they've led in a conference game at halftime, and they're trying to finish it off for the first time. It won't be easy, but they have just pulled to within reach with 1:33 to go.
Yeah, I would expect them maybe to go down the floor here in terms of pressing. See if you can force a turnover.
Mizzou without any timeouts remaining.
The battle in the paint in the first half was even. LSU plus 10 here in the second half. Guess what the difference is in the game?
10 points. Catch by LSU as they break the timeline.
Just barely.
Yeah, by about a half a second.
Now this is going to be hack a Hannibal right now, because Hannibal, not known as a great free throw shooter, 65%. Honor took the foul quickly.
Two-shot foul. Hannibal 6 out of 8 at the line tonight.
And all you want to do if you're Missouri is kind of cut into the lead 1 point at a time. What do I mean by that? Because he missed that, you can counter with 2. You don't have to have a 3 here.
16 second half points for Trey Hannibal. Honor rejected by Fountain. Wright waiting to get fouled, and that comes in the form of Nick Honor, and that's 5 on the senior.
Well, he's had a good career, a great career. He's playing in his 155th game tonight. Played in the NCAA tournament a year ago. As you take a look at the last winless team in SEC play. Well, LSU now will have won 5 of their last 7. They do have 4 quad 1 wins, which is kind of unusual for a team to have that high of a net ranking. Here's something about Jordan Wright. He's been to the free throw line over 170 times this year. I've
always just had a great respect for his game. Everything is kind of like a silent assassin. He does everything well. They say he's a vocal guy, even though he's never that animated on the floor, but he's a leader in the locker room and on this team. Time running out for Missouri. Okay. That'll certainly help. Trent Pierce with a 3. And then a turnover. Carter backing in. Carter fouled and almost got that one to drop.
I am not a fan of bounce passes against full court pressure. Trent Pierce knocked down just his 5th three-pointer of the year, and the inbounds pass was just sloppy. Knocked away, and this is a best-case scenario for Missouri. Score when the clock is stopped.
And Carter is a 79% free throw shooter. Noah Carter, 14 points on the night.
Stranger things have happened.
Well, there was a game years ago, and I believe it was in this building with LSU and Kentucky when Rick Pitino was the coach. If I'm not mistaken, Kentucky rallied down from about
31.
Yes.
31 points down.
That's the largest comeback I've ever seen in the SEC.
Much better press attack.
Foul by Bates will send Jordan right to the free throw line. And if you're LSU, that's who you want at the line. 82%, the veteran. Cracks a smile, kind of letting everybody know, hey, I got this.
Now we're in a position, I think Matt McMahon's team needs to defend the three, and Missouri needs to make a three.
Again, Missouri, no timeouts remaining. You know, it's kind of interesting when you watch all these second-year coaches, Dennis Gates, Matt McMahon, Todd Bolden.
Right.
So many of them were interviewing and being courted by the same SEC schools, so they all know each other indirectly and now directly. Now, they were all hot commodities when their respective SEC programs gave them a shot. So was Lamont Paris, for that matter, at South Carolina, who is probably going to be your SEC Coach of the Year and maybe your National Coach of the Year.
I think National Coach of the Year, in my view, in my mind, is a two-man race between Lamont Paris and Kelvin Sampson of Houston.
Well, while we're handing out awards and going over it, we gave you our M&M SEC All-Conference Team of Players. I'll give you a little sneak preview. Yes, Lamont Paris is our Coach of the Year. Dalton Connect, I mean, come on.
We're going to go out on a limb with Dalton Connect. There. And then I want to ask you, is Reed Shepherd Freshman of the Year or Sixth Man of the Year? Is Rob Dillingham Sixth Man of the Year or Freshman of the Year?
Yeah, I mean, you could almost flip them, and they're all both first team All SEC in our eyes, not just Freshman of the Year, Sixth Man of the Year. Those are two of the best players, quite frankly, in the country, and will be starring in an NBA city less than 12 months from now. But I think that is a real impressive list. I mean, Connect has been, again, he'll be in the National Player of the Year discussion. Paris will be in the National Coach of the Year discussion. And Freshman and Dillingham are two of the best freshmen in the country. So these aren't just SEC awards. In a lot of ways, you're looking at some of the best to do it in all of college basketball.
They went for a quick review on who the ball was out on. I think Jordan's fingers actually hit it last, didn't he?
I thought so. So that would be Missouri basketball.
I think that's what it is.
Yep. You do realize a three-pointer here would make it a 6-point game. Or a quick two. That'll work. Robinson on the flush.
Now it's got to be deny and foul.
That's exactly who LSU wants to get the ball to, and there's the foul.
That's why I thought Missouri had to have a three. They cannot trade twos at this point in time.
Now, again, want to thank everybody all year long that has been watching the SEC Network in a memorable college basketball season. Again, this is the 252nd game. We have drawn the nightcap. We will turn the lights out on our way out of the PMAC and give way to the fine folks covering the SEC tournament, which will begin in earnest on Wednesday.
And if LSU can go ahead and win this, they'll get to wear their gold home jerseys.
That's right. Yes, we talked about that at the top. It was a battle for laundry and uniforms. If LSU won it, they'd be the home team against Mississippi State. If they lost it, they would have been the road team against Mississippi State. You know, State will be starving for a victory after another tough loss today against South Carolina.
Just a senseless foul. I think that was Kurt Lewis with kind of the stop and start, and Wright just for some reason fouled him. Excuse me, that's Robinson.
Anthony Robinson, a freshman by way of Tallahassee, Florida. One out of two. Rebound Bates. This will work out quite well. It winds up being a three-point play. Comes into Ward. There's the quick foul with 22 seconds left. LSU at one point led this game in this half by 21. And here's Missouri cutting it to 6.
But isn't that indicative of what you and I have seen of Missouri and Dennis Gates' team all season?
All season long. I mean, that is certainly, there's not a whole lot of so-called badges of honor that you wear in a tough season. But this team has played hard, fought hard. They have coached hard throughout the year. There's been no let-up for Missouri.
It still has to be a 3.
And now Matt McMahon says, let's talk about this and devise a strategy to finally put this game on ice. What's the discussion here, Coach?
Don't foul.
That's number one.
It's going to be really simple, but let's take one more look at the bracket. As you mentioned, starts Wednesday with the doubleheader.
All right, look, I'm going to say this right now. I know Florida had a somewhat unexplainable loss to Vanderbilt today. And Vanderbilt always plays hard, too, and it was in Nashville. I'm still high. I'm still bullish on Florida. I'm bullish on South Carolina as a 5. Those two teams, to me, if we're going past the double bye teams, I mean, I guess that's still chalk too. I'm picking 5 and 6, but I think they could make a run.
Well, Florida and Alabama, remember, they played 2 great games.
Absolutely.
Florida kind of got the better of Alabama and Gainesville, and that first meeting in Tuscaloosa went to overtime.
South Carolina hasn't had great success in the SEC tournament in recent years. Why in the world would you foul? Why in the world would you foul? It may be academic with 11.6 on the clock, but still.
Obviously, they weren't listening in the huddle.
You know what I think it is? They want the people at home to get more bracket analysis, and by golly, we're going to give it.
Practice fouls.
Yes.
That's what I have called these all season long. East has one of the unusual free throw deliveries.
I've never seen a player do that. Around the back and then fire it?
Whatever your routine is, do it every time. Watch this.
Get the grip around the world, fire it through the hole.
And when you're 85%, Mike, you can do whatever you want.
Do whatever you want. It's still amazing. This is a 6-point game. But again, only 11 seconds on the clock. It will certainly take a miracle from Mizzou at this point. 5-second call would help that miracle. They do get it in time, and then a turnover with 8.4 remaining.
But they'll have to go look at this. I think we hit the 2-minute mark about 30 minutes ago.
By the time this one ends, we might be ready for the first round of the SEC tournament.
Yes. Again, LSU giving Missouri hope. Take another look. The double team. Wow. First of all, there was a foul on the reach.
You know, we had this, Joe and I had this on Wednesday night, where a review like that happened, and there was an obvious foul, but it's important to note, the foul is not reviewable. Yeah. It's whoever touched it last. So if you see a foul and you're saying, well, wait a minute, he fouled, it doesn't matter.
Right.
It's who touched it last.
Correct.
You can't relitigate the foul.
Correct. I also wanted to, we were talking big picture with the tournament. One of the ingredients you better have if you want to make a Final Four run is to be in Ken Palm's top 40 in offensive and defensive efficiency.
Okay.
That's a fact.
Right.
There's only 2 teams that currently have that on both sides of the ball. Obviously Tennessee, and the other one?
Oh, gosh. I will guess Florida?
No, Auburn.
Auburn,
top 40 offensive and defensive efficiency.
Interesting. 9 seconds for Carter with 5.9.
Watch out.
It's a 3-point game. No timeouts for Mizzou. And a foul before the inbounds pass, so no time goes off the clock.
Take another look at how deep this Carter 3 is. Man, he shot that from way downtown. One possession game. Missouri's only hope is that Hannibal misses both.
Missouri trailed by 21 minutes ago. It's now a 3-point game with 5.9 on the clock.
There are some people who are very upset about how this game has swung, if you catch my drift.
I do. Hannibal. How about that? Clutch.
Now, if any LSU player gets in the same area code as any Missouri player, it should be sub 4.
Yes. By the way, Hannibal just tied his career high. And that's a new career high on senior night for Trey Hannibal. 23 points on 7 of 10 from the field. And 9 of 12 from the free throw line to go along with 5 rebounds, 5 assists. He has been the biggest X factor for this LSU run as the Tigers are going to make it 5 out of the last 7.
And I don't think this is a frameable game by any stretch for LSU, but the bottom line is, at the end of the night, as you see Hannibal's with a new career high, at the end of the night, LSU 9-9 in league play, and that's a far cry from 2-16 of a season ago.
Yeah, a 500 record in this league this year looks awfully good on the resume, that's for sure, no matter what the postseason looks like for LSU. But just to repeat, new stipulations for the NIT that actually favor a power conference like the SEC.
Right.
LSU could wind up being back here at the PMAC in an NIT host game.
If you're one of those 2 automatic qualifiers, regardless of your record, not only are you in, but you're guaranteed to host.
Final 5 seconds will tell. You got to be kidding me. Well, we were just bragging on Trey Hannibal. He's having a career night. But that foul boggles the mind. I mean, this is one of the few times you've been speechless all year, Mark Wise.
I don't know what to say. Just don't be around anybody with the ball.
Okay, so if he hits this one, it's back to a 1-possession game.
Yes.
Just for the record.
Steal
and a 3.
Make your 3.
Okay. No timeouts for either side. So if you're in jeopardy of a 5-second call, there's nothing you can do about it. Williams, the freshman, will be the trigger man. Roams the baseline. Throws it to Ward, into Hannibal. And a foul committed by Robinson.
That was fortunate. Hannibal was trying to get rid of the ball quickly.
I got to say, this is one of the most bizarre endings to a game I've ever seen.
I have rewritten the second half score now 19 different times.
We are the last game of the conference slate. I don't think anybody wants to see it end, apparently.
This is game number 252 and 253. Oh, my goodness. Here we go.
Oh, my goodness. A miss here, and Missouri has 3.1 to tie it. Now, what is this conversation about? Tucking your shirt?
Yeah.
Okay. Give Trey Hannibal more time to think about it. To ice it, we think. He does. absolutely, positively do not foul. East. Baseball pass, picked off. Hannibal gets it, and LSU will finish in the upper half of the SEC. A 9-9 conference mark, one of the best turnarounds this year in the Southeastern Conference.
LSU with 55 in the second half, but again led by the career best, Trey Hannibal.
Coach, some final thoughts.
Well, again, I thought LSU played with more energy. Their defense helped out their offense in the second half, especially in the first 10 minutes. And then they kind of let their foot off the gas, and guess what? That's pretty dangerous, and Missouri took advantage down the stretch.
Trey Hannibal, a career night, 24 points to go along with 5 rebounds and 5 assists. Really, all the seniors had something to cheer about, including Hunter Dean, who was very good as well. 12 points and 6 rebounds for LSU. The Bayou Bengals finish 9-9 in conference play, and they win 4 out of the last 6. That's going to do it for us. For Mark Wise and our terrific SEC Network crew, this is Mike Morgan saying so long. It's been a fun regular season ride in conference play. Dari Noka probably needed an extra cup of coffee, but we can now finally send it to Dari and the gang back in studio.